Yo, it's Jai. So, it's Valentine's Day, right? And once again, I'm single. And, because it is Valentine's Day, and I want to talk something about dating, and all that. So I was like, why not talk about how I ended up being single for 20 years of my life? AKA my whole life. Now, this video will probably be a bit sad and probably a bit depressing too. But I'm gonna try to make it as funny and entertaining as possible, and hopefully, you guys can sit through me talking about my non-existent dating life. And also I feel like it's becoming a bit more normal now, because like I saw a stat somewhere where like in 2019 apparently 33% of all males in America didn't get laid. 33 fucking percent, and obviously in 2020 that probably jumped up to 50% because Corona and shit. But like 33% didn't get laid. Like that's fucking insane, you know what I mean? And a lot of my friends are still virgins, and I'm fucking 20 and they're fucking 20, and all that, like around this age group and shit. Like I think people are losing their virginities later now, and like the average is probably higher up now because there's simps now, exist, incels, OnlyFans, porn, all that shit, sad ass fucking men out there, you know what I mean? And then there's me, and but we're not gonna talk about all that shit anyways. We're gonna talk about my dating life and how I ended up being single for 20 fucking years. So I was born, and now let's fast forward to like 4 and 5, and I think I was either in kindergarten or grade 1. I was one of those two, and I always used to get into like beef with kids, right? And until like high school, I always used to like I got in like a bunch of fights and shit. And I was a rowdy kid back in the day. What can I say? I was a tough guy, right? And I remember like way back, I still remember it to this day, which is pretty crazy, right? And it may have fucked me up, I don't know. But like I was 4 or 5, and I got into like this fight with a girl, right? And I think like she started it or something. Like she hit me, or she like threw a rock at me or first or something. I don't know what happened, right? And naturally, me being the feminist that I am, believing in equality, right? I like fought back, right? And then I remember like when the teacher caught us, or it was a supervisor or whoever it was, right? Like she lied and she said I did it, like I hit her first, or like I like threw, I don't know what it was. I think it was a rock. Like I think we were like throwing rocks at each other or some shit. And I remember she blamed me, right? And then I got in shit. Like she lied and blamed me, and I got in shit for that, right? And it's just like like maybe that fucked me up like a little bit, maybe that made me like a little wary of girls or some shit. I really don't know. I'm just hypothesizing here, if that's a word. But really I think like, and I still remember it to this day, it's just like, why would I don't remember her name, I don't remember like what she even looked like that much, but like I still remember the fucking incident, right? And how this girl fucking started beef with me and lied, and I got in trouble for that, and even like I think like this like fight like just showed that being truthful doesn't always work, and then that kind of showed me how fucked the world is. And maybe that also showed me like how fucked women are a little bit, you know what I mean? No hate, I know there's nice women out there, but there's fucked women out there too, just like there's some nice guys and fucked guys, right? And obviously, because I haven't gone through puberty, I don't fucking like girls. Like, it's just like, remember like in elementary school and shit, you're like, oh, cooties, or like, like stupid shit like that. Or it's like boys versus girls. Like, it was always like that, right? And then, let's fast forward to like grade 6. So I think this is like the time around where I first started, getting attracted to girls or whatever. And I was never close with girls ever. Like, throughout my elementary school, like I never, like I always just used to have guy friends. Because maybe it is because of like the whole boys versus girls thing, like I said, right? Like I could, talk to them and shit, like, but like I just wouldn't, like I never was friends with them. I think I might have remembered the name of the girl. It might have been like Simran or something. So, yo, Simran, if you're listening to this, fuck you, bitch. But I'm kidding. But yeah, it's just like I was never close to girls in elementary school like that. And our grade 6 class, like it was like grade 6 like and 7 class, like it was like a split class for some reason. I don't know why they did that, right? Because they had like 4 classes that were all like that, right? And then there was like these grade 7 chicks who were like fucking like, they were like tall, bro. Like all of them were probably like I was pretty tall. Well, in grade 7 I ended up being like 5'6" or some shit, right? Like I was always tall. But like these girls, they were probably like 5'6", 5'7", 5'8". I don't know, because you know, maybe in grade 6 I was a bit shorter. I don't know, but I remember like I was like I don't know, I never really had a crush on them, but like I was like, yo, you know. And I remember like one of them was like asking me like, oh, who's your crush, who's your, you know, and all that. And I didn't really, I don't really know what I was even thinking about that time, right? Because like I didn't really like have one, I guess, right? And I'm pretty sure they also taught us puberty in grade 6, so you know I was like, I guess more aware about that shit. But I still was like pretty disgusted by it. I was like, ew, sex, like what the fuck, you know what? Like, you know, it's gross, right? And so I think then like it started, you know, like I started getting attracted to girls and shit. And also I think, you know, I just started going through puberty and shit around then, because remember like when you'd get like those fucking semi-hard boners like in class or like whenever, like just randomly, right? Like that shit would just like, I didn't even know what that shit meant. It'd just be fucking annoying. Like I'd like be like, yo, relax, dick. Like what the like what are you fucking doing and shit? Tough times, man, tough times. But anyways, I never really did anything in elementary school. You know, I went to grade 7, didn't do anything, because I was always a quiet kid and shit too. You know, I was never super sociable or sociable. Man, I feel like I'm just making a word too. Sociable is a word, right? Yeah, it is. Yeah. Sorry guys, it's like 3 a.m. All right, but I was always, you know, like kind of just like antisocial, kind of. You know, obviously I talked with my friends and shit, but I was never really super popular. I never really did all that shit, you know. And instead of girls, I was like more focused on like games and shit, you know what I mean, and just playing and stuff like that. Like I never really cared about girls. Like in elementary school, there were a couple of couples. Like I remember like one of my friends had a girlfriend for some reason, and but really there was not too many couples or anything. There's like 2 or 3 max, I think. Like, you know, it's like most people didn't really care about that shit, I think. Like even when we had dances and shit, I remember like you know, like those 2-3 couples would be like dancing together and shit. But like, and I miss elementary school, man. Shit was fun, yeah. But anyways, high school. So, and another thing, you know, that may have fucked up, you know, my dating life was I actually transferred high schools in, you know, the beginning of grade 8. So like I went to this high school for like a month and a half, and then like there was like someone literally got like stabbed at that school and shit. So, you know, some of you probably know what school I'm talking about. But literally, so my mom was like, nah, B, you ain't going here. And it was also like rated really bad on like some website or some shit. It was like 5 out of 10 or something, you know, it was really bad. And my mom was like, yeah, you're not fucking staying here. So literally we fucking moved to another school, you know, by like faking the address and all that. And so, you know, I came to the new high school, don't know anyone, and also me not being a social guy and all that, you know. And maybe, you know, I also did move in elementary schools. I moved schools in elementary school too. So, you know, maybe that also, you know, made me more quiet and all that. So, you know, I come to a new school in the middle of the semester, kind of, right? And, you know, most people have probably kind of like figured out who each other are, kind of, right? And I came to the new school not being a sociable guy, and, you know, so it was also hard there, right? It's just like, and then I made like my first group of friends and all that. And most of these people already kind of like knew each other and shit. Like some of them did anyways, right? Because they came from elementary schools together, right? But, you know, me not being the social guy ended up, you know, like a couple of people took interest in me and shit. They're like, yo, who are you? Like, yo, like, where did you come from? Why'd you move? Why'd you do that? Did you get expelled? All that shit, right? And honestly, all this attention, like, it didn't really make me feel good. Like, I felt weird, you know, because I'm not, like, I don't like being the center of attention. I really don't, right? If we're like in a group or something, like, I don't, you know, if I don't need to talk, then I don't. You know what I mean? But if like no one else is talking or whatever, then I usually step up or whatever. But I really, like, I don't like being the center of attention. I don't need like everyone's attention on me, and all that attention, like, it made me feel weird, you know? And, you know, that I think made it a little harder for me to get along with everyone, right? And eventually, you know, I just like found some friends that are, you know, low key and all that. And I just, you know, just started hanging out with them. And yeah, and they were all males, right? Because, you know, I never really talked to girls too much. You know, even in elementary school, I never really talked to girls. And in high school, so, you know, me just joining, I just only male friends and all that. And I didn't know girls, right? And I never knew how to like connect with them or like talk with them. And this was like throughout high school, right? And obviously, you know, I could talk to him like during like if you had like group projects or we're like sitting next to each other or whatever, right? Like I could talk to him, but like it would never be like smooth. You know, it's just like with guys, you know, I can like make like dick jokes, I can do like whatever, right? But like with girls, I just didn't know how to fucking talk to them, you know. And this, you know, persisted throughout high school, right? And also like, you know, I didn't really care about girls then either, you know. And then I think like in grade 10, and this was actually when I actually started jacking off, you know, before I literally didn't care about that shit at all. And then my friends were like, oh, why don't you jack off shit, you know? And then, you know, I jacked off, and then now I'm fucking addicted. Thanks, guys. Right? So I was a pretty late bloomer, right? And I think at this point, I actually started thinking about, you know, having a girlfriend or whatever. And now I guess let's talk about my first real crush, or my first crush in general, I guess. So this girl, you know, we were in the same socials class, or humanities, right? And you know, like she was cute and I liked her and she was like funny and all that, right? And we were in the same like project group, I guess, right? So, you know, whenever we had a little project thing, and in this class, you know, it's pretty interesting class, I guess. Is like we actually like went outside to do like some social stuff, right? It's just like look at some rocks and shit. I don't know, I don't even remember what it was. I don't want to even get too much into the details because it's not fucking important at all, right? So, but you know, this girl, I liked her and shit, and we kind of flirt or whatever, right? And you know, she was like kind of into it too or something, I'm guessing anyways, you know. But you know, if you actually look at the ending, then maybe not. But you know, we never really sat together in class and shit, you know, because I don't know, it like I wasn't never like that confident or whatever. I couldn't just go up to her and like be like, yo, let's sit together, you know. When she had her own friends, I had my own friends, you know what I mean? And so really we only talked during whenever we had those like little meetups. Was like, you know, once every like couple of weeks or something like that, right? So I would, you know, rarely ever talk to her, but I did have her like Insta and shit, so like I would text her on there, right? But I never really texted people before. I never texted a girl before, and I don't even like texting that much even now, right? It's just like even with my friends, like I get bored texting with them. Like I'd rather call and like actually talk to them, like, you know, just like hear their voice, you know, expressions, all that, right? Because, you know, tone, you know, you can actually tell that shit. But in texting, like I just like, get bored, like, oh, I gotta type all this shit, like my thoughts into something, and it's just gross, right? Because, you know, you can even tell from my videos, I'm like all over the place, right? But so, you know, I was texting her, and I never really knew how to text that much anyways, right? But, and, you know, we never really talked too much out of class and shit, because it was just, like, I don't know, I didn't know what to do, bro. I was in fucking, like, high school. Like, I never talked to girls before. I don't know what the fuck to do, you know? And most of my friends, they were nerds, too, you know? They never really had girls. They never really, like, all of that, so it's just a weird thing, you know? And also, it's, like, I want to, like, people who had girls, I want to, like, go up to be like, yo, how'd you get a girl? Like, that's just weird. Like, that's, like, emasculating, you know what I mean? But anyways, you know, so we kind of talked in that class, and I kind of texted her and shit, right? And you know, we would kind of flirt, right? But like, I don't know, maybe she was just being nice, honestly. Maybe, right? Maybe I just misinterpreted the whole thing. You never know, right? But you know, the class ended, and then next semester happened, or like next grade, actually, you know, grade 11. So in grade 11 we had bio 11 together, right? And luckily, you know, the teacher made a seating plan, so I was the one sitting next to her, you know what I mean? And it was just us two, like it was like the two class, like a big desk, you know, for two people and all that, right? So like we would sit next to each other and we'd talk and all that, right? And all that shit, and it seemed like pretty comfortable and all that, right? It wouldn't like be like hella awkward or anything too much, although like we weren't like having conversations all the time, because, you know, we were in class, you know, so we did have to like listen to the teacher, we did have to all that, right? But I think, you know, we were, you know, it was decent conversation and stuff, right? And then she moved desks, you know, because the seating plan changed and all that. So I never sat to her ever, next to her ever again, right? And then we text and shit, right? And then she started getting distant, you know, when we were texting and shit. And I think this was actually like after the class ended, you know, but like I'd still like I never knew how to text Bray, and like I didn't know what to say, I didn't know what to do, but like I was always just like, yo, I need to like keep talking to her, like, so she doesn't forget me, basically, right? And so I'd always like every day I'd like send her a meme or whatever, and then I should have just like noticed like you know, she started like sending one word replies. She was just like she was basically showing that she wasn't interested, right? But like I just didn't catch these hints and shit, and then eventually I got ghosted. And this was, you know, my first time getting ghosted. And, you know, funny thing, you know, now I've been ghosted so many times, which is like kind of crazy, but that one still hurts the most, I think. But yeah, that was my first crush and how I kinda got rejected, I guess. I don't know. And then, there was this other girl who I talked to every now and then, and it never got, like, it wasn't ever like that, right? And she ended up getting a boyfriend, so, that was that. And that was basically my high school dating, whatever, dating life, lack of dating life, whatever. That was basically what I did in high school, relate to girls. I mean, there was this one other girl who I liked, but I knew I was out there, she was out of my league, so I never even tried. Although one time, I was playing Agario. Remember Agario, guys? Dude, I love that game. I haven't played it in a while, but I played it a year ago or some shit with one of my other friends, and still a banger game. You know what I mean? I mean, now it's full of tryhards like every other game. Yes, there are tryhards in Agario. Yes. And teamers, fucking pussies, right? But anyways, so I was playing Agario in class one day, and I was pretty good at Agario, yo. Before, I remember in grade 11, 12, my friends would always make fun of me, they'd be like, oh shit, God of Fortnite, because I used to play a lot of Fortnite, and I was pretty good at it, right? And before that, it was Agario. And I remember she was like, oh my God, Sajai, you're so big. Right? And I was playing my game, right? I was just yeah. And I was just bitch, get the fuck out of my way. I'm playing my game. But so that's how that happened. I mean, we talked every when we had to, right? But yeah, that was my high school fucking lack of dating life, non-existent dating life. There you go. And also at the end of at the end of high school, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get a girlfriend in uni, bro. That's and bro, I couldn't have been more wrong, man. Uni, right? So, like I said, I thought in high school, at the end of high school, I was like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna get a girl in fucking uni, bro. That's what I'm gonna do, yo. And so I'm in engineering, right? So in my classes, there's 98% dudes usually. Yeah, 98% dudes usually, I'd say. And so clearly, you know what I mean? I can't, do anything. One girl had a boyfriend, and this other girl, I was like, whatever, and, that's it, So, really, there's no fucking chance to me. In classes, they're all dudes. And even now, especially now, I don't even want a girl that's doing engineering and shit, because, bro, I get AIDS. One of my engineering friends talk about shit. I was just like, yo, shut the fuck up. I don't care, bro. They talk about anything science related. I get fucking trauma. I'm just like, shut up. I don't want to talk about this. I want to talk about goofy shit, and that's it, right? So I wouldn't even want an engineering girl anyways nowadays. But there aren't any anyways. Obviously, there's a couple, right? Good for them and shit. But yeah, so in classes, no. And obviously, I'm not a social guy, right? So I don't really... how people can literally just go around, talk to random chicks and get their numbers and shit, right? I literally couldn't do that because, I just never had enough courage or whatever, or, I just didn't care enough to do it, right? And also, I don't really go out much. I don't party. I don't do any of that shit. I usually just chill at home, play video games, do my thing, and, yeah, that's been most of my life. Now, I think I'm going to try to change it a little bit. I was starting to kind of change it at the end of, literally before Corona happened, right? But yeah, so first and second year, nothing happened, right? And then 2020, at the beginning of 2020, right? I was like, yo, I'm almost a third year, right? I'm fucking 19, and I haven't even dated anyone, you know what I mean? And I was just like, what the fuck am I doing, bro? So literally, I made a New Year's resolution for 2020. I was like, yo, I'm gonna get a fucking girl, right? And I think we all know how that ended up, right? But literally, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try, bro. I'm gonna do stuff. I'm gonna try to talk to random chicks and shit. I'm gonna get a fucking girl, bro. I'm gonna get one. And I was pretty dead set about it. So, I got Tinder before Corona happened. I actually got Tinder. I think I got it a month before, and all. I mean, obviously Corona was happening, right? But before lockdown and shit, I got Tinder, and God, what a fucking awful thing that was, man. Jesus Christ, worst decision. But yeah, so all these, I got a bunch of dating apps and shit, a bunch. I was pretty down bad, yo. And yeah, that was an awful experience. I basically just got ghosted a bunch, and I would barely get any matches and shit and stuff like that. Partly probably because I'm not that attractive, and also Tinder literally doesn't want you to win, And girls on dating apps, they don't give a fucking fuck. Because they literally, like, there's 10 to 1, like, guys to girls on there, you know? So it's like, girls, they have a lot of options. So they really don't give a fuck about you. You know, if you're boring once, like, you're done, basically, right? They'll just ghost you, like, without a second thought. So, you know, online dating was fucking horrible. And I remember, like, before Corona, I even, like, actually went up to a girl and, like, she talked to her, right? But I wasn't, like, so I was sitting, right? And then she, like, kind of, like, sat next to me, right? And I was like, you know what, fuck it. And I wasn't looking at her because, like, she was literally kind of, like, right next to me, right? So I wasn't gonna be like, yo, let me, like, I'm gonna stare at her and shit, right? So I never even looked at her before, right? But I knew she was a girl, right? And so I was like, you know what? And then I started some conversation, and it was, like, hella awkward. Right? It was like the first time I ever even did that. And it turns out she was like fucking like 30-year-old chick, bro. Like apparently like some professor or something. And she was like giving like a lecture at the library. And I was like, oh, well, that was awkward. So, yeah. That's how I ended up being single for 20 fucking years of my life. AKA all my life. So, if you actually stayed till now, thank you, man. Thank you. And hopefully it was like kind of entertaining-ish enough to, you know, so you guys actually enjoyed it. I hope you guys actually did. But basically, I think, you know, to wrap it up, I just gotta say, fuck Simran, bro. You know, you fucked me up. And, yeah, you know, dating's tough, yo. Girls are fucking tough. Girls can be bitches sometimes, yo. And ladies, if any of you are, you know, watching right now is a lady over 18, so, you know, 19 and above. I don't want, like, 18's a little too close to 17. Yo, fuck that shit. You know, hit me up, yo. I mean, you don't know what my face looks like, but, you know, we can talk. You know, I was in this talking stage with this girl for like fucking like 6-7 months, and that ended horribly. Again, that's a story for 10,000 subs. But yeah, you better hit me up right now, you know, because otherwise, you know, when I get famous and cloud the fuck up, you know, I probably won't give a fuck about you. So, you know, if you hit me up now, you know, when I'm not famous, you know, maybe something will happen. But anyways, don't hit me up. Just don't. I don't want to fucking do any of the shit. Yeah. If you guys, you know, I hope you guys actually enjoyed the video. Please drop a like if you guys enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, you know, helps me out a lot. And thank you for watching this fucking mess of a video of me just talking about my non-existent dating life. Thank you, and peace.